Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video asks, is Comet Atlas the harbinger of the coronavirus epidemic? It's part of the several videos and blogs for our Starwheel April 2020 Astrology and Healing newsletter. So basically, why I'm asking this is because the dates of Comet Atlas discovery and the date of when Comet Atlas reaches his perihelion, or brightest and most powerful in the heavens, correspond very closely with other dates I have identified as astrological energies producing the coronavirus epidemic. And it is noteworthy that at many major human events, positive and negative, the appearance of a comet has been considered a harbinger or a bringer of the event, or an indicator that a huge turn event is going to happen. So let's look at the dates and the energy of Comet Atlas. Well, Comet Atlas first appeared in the heavens on the 29th of December 2019, spotted by a robot, named by a robot, but perhaps named significantly. Now, this date for Comet Atlas first appearing in the heavens, December the 29th, is pretty well at the same time as the solar eclipse of the 26th of December, which was the same day as the discovery of the coronavirus by a doctor in Wuhan, China, on the day of that eclipse. And it's quite conceivable that the Comet Atlas was visible on the day of that eclipse, but just wasn't noticed for another 3 days. Now, before I go any further into this presentation of really quite a striking and important astrological phenomena, I want to say that you can see all the charts I'm referring to on my Starwheel Astrology 2020 webpage. So on the Starwheel Astrology website, there's a 2020 web page, and the coronavirus charts are all at the bottom of that. But also there's a chart which you can click to for each of the months of 2020, and those monthly pages have charts and also links to our blogs and videos for more information. And indeed, we also specialize in healing modalities, because one of the main benefits of the perception offered by astrology is that it can then be linked to the healing modality, to the form of healing that's right for you. Just hearing the formula of astrology is pretty useless. You need to do something about it. Healing, empowerment, transformation. And that's our philosophy. So, let's get back to this appearance of Comet Atlas. I've already said that Comet Atlas was discovered pretty well exactly the same time as the coronavirus was discovered, and pretty well exactly the same time as the solar eclipse of the 26th of December. But it looks to me like there's another coincidence of dates. You see, the date for the greatest visibility and power, the perihelion of Comet Atlas, is May the 20th. And this is the date when Rahu, the north node of the moon, leaves Ardra Nakshatra in Vedic Gemini. And so on that date, Rahu will be at 6 Vedic Gemini and will leave Ardra and enter Mrigashira. And the point is, Ardra is an implacable and formidable energy. And Rahu was in Ardra Nakshatra on the day of 9/11, the Twin Towers. So I've already said that I think Rahu in Ardra Nakshatra is a major delivering energy for the coronavirus epidemic. And in fact, I think the trigger for the manifestation was the solar eclipse of the 26th of December. But I'm now doing this blog to say that I think the actual harbinger is the word usually used of the whole coronavirus thing, which summarizes the various astrological energies, and there are a couple more, is actually Comet Atlas. So Comet Atlas is a contributory part of the coronavirus energy, and it may even be the decisive trigger point, with the Rahu in Ardra transit being the background momentum for the development of the virus. So, for those who can, connect with the energy of Comet Atlas now as it heads towards the Earth, as it heads towards its greatest brightness, its perihelion, actually on May the 31st. So that's 11 days after Rahu leaves Vedic Ardra. And I feel it contains a great deal of energy, and this will become apparent as the comet gets nearer and becomes visible in the heavens. It will actually become brighter than any planet, brighter than Venus. It looks like a bomb. It creates an energetic explosion, just as coronavirus exploded. So there's a connection of energies. And as Comet Atlas nears its perihelion in the night sky, it'll have a tail and surrounding aura. And so it will, in a sense, look like a bomb going off in the sky. Distant and small, but powerful. Powerful in the energies it sends. I do want to add that another contributory part of the overall phenomena of the coronavirus epidemic is, of course, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. But I think that is more about the personal resets that the coronavirus will cause. And of course it's about other changes to individuals and societies as well, in addition, as Saturn-Pluto conjunction always is. But because Saturn-Pluto is there at the same time as with the Rahu transit in Ardra and the appearance of Comet Atlas, the presence of the coronavirus will have a massive effect on what personal and social changes happen now to each of us and to the societies we live in and to this planet. So the key facts are that Comet Atlas arrival is a new energy in our solar system, and it coincides exactly with the discovery and the start of coronavirus. Well, why should this be? Why should bodies in the heavens affect us as individuals and affect the events of this world? Well, the whole point is it's a case of above and below. The whole of the universe vibrates with the same energy at any given time and date. And that's why your birth chart, your natal astrology chart, which is a map of the heavens, is also a map of your personal identity and your personal destiny, because all parts of the universe vibrate with the same energy at the same time. So a map of the heavens is same as a map of you and me and our life at the point of our birth. And then, of course, there's a predictable unfoldment, which is mapped by the dashas, the Vedic predictive periods, the transits, the progressions, the age points. But of course, it isn't fated. Some karmas we may not be able to change, we may have to experience, but others we can change, and we can change them through raising our consciousness and receiving healing and doing work to empower ourselves. So traditionally, the appearance of a bright comet in the heavens has definitely been seen as the harbinger of a very major event. So what's so special about comets? Okay, far into ancient history, the arrival of a major comet has been felt to be the harbinger or indication of huge and important new events and new energy in the heavens. And in the blog post associated with this video, I give some examples. So in 1066, famously, Halley's Comet was seen, and it coincided with the Norman conquest of England. So basically England was ruled by the Saxons at that time. They had much earlier defeated the sort of Celtic culture of the King Arthur tradition, had imposed their Saxon Germanic rule. But in 1066, William the Conqueror, the Norman, decided to invade England. And a comet appeared in the heavens. That comet is actually embroidered into the famous Bayeux tapestry, and the tapestry shows the huge comet in the heavens with anxious Saxons looking up. And the Saxons were anxious and weren't too sure they could cope with the invasion, because they were facing double whammy. The Norse had invaded, the Vikings had invaded at the same time. So King Harold the Saxon sort of shot to the north of England to fight the Vikings, and then had to force march his men down to meet William the Conqueror. The comet overhead, it didn't improve morale, and Harold died, and England was very, very, very quickly conquered by the Normans. It was almost like a McDonald'sization. The Norman pattern of rule was just stamped in one place after another in lightning speed. Halley's Comet of 1066. In 1222, Halley's Comet coincided with Genghis Khan ordering the Mongol hordes to invade Europe. In 1456, Halley's Comet coincided with the Ottoman Empire invasion of the Balkans. In AD 66, historian Flavius Josephus said that there was a comet, a star resembling a sword, in the heavens at the same time as the destruction of Jerusalem by the Romans. And incidentally, what's less well known but very important is the very same year there was the Battle of Inishmon, when the Romans fought the Celtic Druids on Anglesey and destroyed Druidry pretty well in England, although it did survive in parts of Wales and of course especially in Ireland. So you see how comets, big comets in the heavens, are historically seen at very big events. Here's another one, 451, comet appeared at the defeat of Attila the Hun. Interesting this, 837, Holy Roman Emperor Louis the Pious saw a comet over Rome, and he feared the comet was the harbinger of his downfall. So he tried to propitiate, he tried to ward off its power by fasting and prayer and alms for the poor, just as social support packages are being given out across the world in many countries now, as we have Comet Atlas and coronavirus. And the last example I'll mention is perhaps the most famous one of all, the birth of Jesus. The birth of Jesus was said to coincide with the Star of Bethlehem, the star that travelled through the heavens and was followed by the three wise men, the three magi, who sensed that a great spiritual figure was being born and brought gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. So I do believe that Comet Atlas is the harbinger of coronavirus. I believe that the energy comes from the Rahu transit in Ardra. This means that I don't think the coronavirus will start to tail off till the end of May. And that's when Rahu leaves Ardra Nakshatra on the 20th, and when Comet Atlas reaches its highest brightness and power a few days later. Incidentally, it could be there'll be a sort of second wave, a bit of a kickback, the very end of September, when the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is tight in the heavens now, will have widened, but then will get tight again. So it will be fascinating to see if we have yet another example of a comet as a harbinger of vast events. And I actually want to thank my friend and colleague Andy Nolan for intuiting and pointing out the potential power of Comet Atlas. So if you want a reading from me, an astrology reading, go to my Starwheel astrology website. And of course this blog and this video are part of the 10 parts of our April Starwheel Astrology and Healing newsletter. So have a look at the different parts of the newsletter, and if any of the topics interest you, go for it now. This is a very special time, and indeed in part 1 of the newsletter I channeled at some length what I see as the true implication, the true meaning for each of us of the coronavirus lockdown. So thank you for watching. Thank you.